Hey guys, Corey here, and I am on the Hip Kit Club YouTube channel with a new scrapbook process video for you. So today is a product focus day, and I am going to show you how I made my own striped background using patterned paper. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm really just going through all of these different patterned papers and picking out the ones that I like and that I think are going to work with my photograph. And I've already decided that I am not really into like just super clean straight lines on this. So I'm ripping the paper using just my ruler and the paper, just tearing it. It'll just kind of give it like, just that torn edge. It's still going to be straight, but it's going to be torn. Actually, not all of them are straight because some of the papers moved while I was doing this. And so they're a little bit on the wonky side, but I'm actually totally fine with that. So it's going to be a striped background, but it's going to have a little bit of a soft edge to it. So I really love these kits. This is the first page that I'm making with the February hip kits. So February 2020 hip kits. The colors are really pretty. And while I am all about having like summer like pictures, this is what's crazy is I was going through my photos and I was kind of like, wow, I don't even have anything that really goes with these. So I mean, the picture that I'm using, it's close. It doesn't actually have any real pink in it, but that's okay. It all works out just fine. But I was kind of surprised. Luckily, as we progress, it's only going to get warmer. And we had our February break here just this past week from school. And so I do have some photos that hopefully are going to work from Disney World. So we'll see how that all goes. But I digress. So this is basically what it's going to look like. I did decide after I had this, I was like, okay, well, I should probably try and put some color on the white. So I'm just trying out the different colors that came with the different kits for February. I haven't used any of these, so this is my very first page with these February kits, and so I didn't really know what color this was. I wanted to make sure I wasn't getting anything too dark, which that was a little bit too dark for me. So instead, what I decided to use were the Nuvo crystal drops, just mixed with a little bit of water, and just made it a little bit, splatterable, and that actually ended up working just perfectly. I do use these same things, the crystal drops again, but not until the very end. And I actually use them how they're probably supposed to be used. But I'm totally fine with just using things in a different way, especially if it's going to give me the look that I want. So I'm just putting a little bit of splatters on the page. Obviously, most of this is going to be covered up just with the stripes that I'm going to be making. But, I wanted to make sure I had a little bit of something back there. So once this is dry, I'm just going to go ahead and lay my stripes down on my paper. So this page is actually going to be about spending February in Florida. So like I said, we were at Disney World for a while, which is great. And then we went to our favorite beach location for the second half of the week. And this photograph was actually taken there. So it's so funny because where we are, it's coastline, and it's so foggy in the winter time there. So it wasn't really cold. I mean, it was in the mid to upper 60s, but this fog was so thick and it would roll in and you couldn't see anything around you, which is just crazy. And so this is February in Florida for me. Typically, it's this fog, because that's where we usually are. Now, obviously, there was no fog in Disney World. It was just sunny and gorgeous and wonderful there. Happiest place on earth, but that was very inland, and it's crazy enough. This was actually 5 hours away from Disney World, but it all stayed in the same state. Isn't that strange how you can go 5 hours? We dropped 20 degrees when we made that journey, the 5 hours, and rolled into fog from sunshine. Anyhow, so going along with the fog, I did decide to go ahead and just kind of lightly layer some white acrylic paint on top of my stripes just to kind of mute them just a little bit. The colors are pastel, so they're somewhat muted already, but I wanted it just to be a little bit more. Plus, it kind of works with the photograph being that there's all that fog in the background. And then the other part is I really wanted to have some meaningful journaling on this page. But I didn't want it out there for everyone to read. So I'm going to do a little hidden journaling. And I was just going through the different things. I was thinking maybe I could use one of these little envelopes and put it in there and have it flip over. I was just trying to figure out how I could make that work and which one would look better. And then I ended up deciding on this little pocket once I figured out like what I wanted to put it on. So this one card right here was a little bit difficult getting in and out of the pocket just because of the way it folded on the inside. But the Pocket Life cards worked just great. It's the same size, but I think just because it was a little bit heavier duty of paper, it just went in there a lot easier. But I like this little edge, so I went ahead and put that on there, and then I stitched it as well, just because I thought the little ripple effect was kind of cool. So then I'm going to make sure that this card is all good for my journaling. Now, I'm not going to actually do all the journaling on camera. I'm just going to put the date and where we were, and then I'm going to go back in and do it later because, like I said, it's just it was a little bit more personal, and so I just don't want to put it all on camera. No big deal. But now that I've got my card, or the little pocket and everything all set up, and can go ahead and get my photograph put on there, and I can really start getting this page put together. I do want to apologize in case you hear any lawn equipment in the background right now. It is like the first day around us that it hasn't rained in I don't know how long, so I think everybody's out doing yard work today, and I cannot seem to find a all the way quiet time to be able to do this voiceover. So I do apologize if you hear anything, but everyone's just enjoying the no rain for a while. Okay, so I'm getting my title on, which is Feb, F-E-B, just the abbreviation for February in Florida. I love these stickers that came with the February kits, but I gotta be honest, I really do struggle with the fact that they're not all the same color, because for whatever reason in my mind, I feel like they should all be the same color, and so that's a little bit difficult for me, but I ended up picking out the ones that were at least maybe all of the same kind of lightness, which helps a little bit, and then also kind of tried to stick with a certain color scheme too. So I didn't use the darker ones that were available. I just tried to use lighter ones. And then also, as I'm putting Florida down, the FLOR is on the photograph, and for whatever reason, the adhesive, it goes really great on top of a photograph. That paper just makes it adhere better, but the IDA is actually just on paper, so I did run the IDA through my sewing machine so that it was good on there, because that sometimes, especially when I've got like paint on it and everything else, it doesn't necessarily always stick as well as I would want to. But I'm not worried about the other 4 letters, and I didn't want to adhere those down or stitch those down because I didn't want them squished on there. I actually kind of wanted it to pop up like that. So now I'm just going to go through all the different embellishments, and I'm going to put different things out, mostly things that would make me think of my favorite place. So we've got ones that say golden, rest and relax, memories, make time, yes, more of this, sweet and simple, love, my happy place, fun, shine, smile often, and be yourself. So I just really like that because there were just so many different options with the different embellishments that came with all of these February kits. So I was really excited about being able to use all of these. These little phrase types of things that almost can serve as journaling themselves is always a great way, I feel like, to embellish a page. And so I really love all the different ones that were included in the February kits. I am also going to use these little hearts because, of course, this is my 2 of my girls, and then also, my favorite place in the whole wide world. So hearts definitely are a sentiment that work really, really well with this page. Other than the fact that they just match and look cute, they actually seem to just kind of really get the whole meaning together. I typically like to put their initials on the page, and there were no ampersands in the small letter pack, but there was one on one of the stickers. So I then just put the A and the M on there around the ampersand so that I have their initials on the page. And I did go back in and do all of the journaling and put it back inside my, inside the little pocket there too. I'm going to add a couple of gold puffy hearts and just up and down, and then also a few little enamel dots. And while I was putting these enamel dots out, that's when I was kind of like, oh, I should get out the little crystal drops and put those on the page as well. So I'm just putting those here and there. It's got a really fine opening, and so it's really easy to get those down. Okay guys, and then that is it. Here is my page all put together and a few little close-ups so that you can kind of see some of the details. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you head over to HipKit and pick up one of the some of the February kits or any other month that you are attracted to. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. See you next time.